Thank you to Tushy for sponsoring today's episode.
Ramble.
Hey now, welcome to Guilty Pleasures, the podcast that dreams are made of.
Do it.
Today we're talking about the Lizzie McGuire movie. We're going to be joined by Elle Mills. It's an exciting day. I'm Zach Kornfeld. Joining me as always, Kelsey Darragh and Garrick Bernard. How y'all feeling?
I'm so excited. I've already said hi to Elle because she's off the screen. She hasn't popped up yet, but I'm such a big fan of hers. And she's like a film artiste in my mind. So the fact, like, whatever she picks, I'm here for. So be prepared for me to just be agreeing 100% whatever the fuck she says goes.
You're only going to love this movie. Yeah.
If Elle loves it, I love it. Elle bought sweatpants and cargo shorts or whatever that quote is. So I bought navy pants and flip-flops. Did I say that right?
I'm curious, Garrick, before this movie, had you seen anything Lizzie McGuire before?
Nothing Lizzie McGuire at all. I'm more of a Cartoon Network guy, so I didn't even know any of the characters outside of, like, what's her name? Lizzie. I'm so sorry.
McGuire?
Outside of Lizzie McGuire, yeah, the titular role.
Well, let's not delay any longer. Let's welcome in our guest. You know her from her YouTube channel, Elle Mills, and her upcoming show that premieres this week, Crazy Stupid Fangirls. Please welcome Elle Mills. Hello, Elle.
Hello. Hello.
Elle Mills. Elle Mills.
No.
Elle Mills. Elle
I've been
Mills.
getting gassed up too much.
This is the podcast for that. We only want people to feel good here.
Yeah.
Elle, I have a funny thing to tell you. I have been watching you since like day one. Like I remember when the Green brothers were like tweeting about you, and I was like, who is this? I gotta look at this person. Who is this person? And then I became such a fan. I watched all your content, and then one year at VidCon, I was in the elevator by myself, and you came in the elevator by yourself.
Shut the fuck up. I also have an embarrassing myself at VidCon Elle Mills story. This is too much.
I put my sunglasses on in the elevator. I like put my sunglasses on in the elevator and like pretended to be on my phone and just let the moment pass. And 99.9% sure we both were not sober.
Probably 1,000%.
So
Wait,
I
you didn't
was
say
like,
hi?
no, fucking you.
Why?
Were like, you were the hot new fucking it bitch. Yeah.
You were the it bitch, Elle.
You were the Lizzie
bitch.
McGuire of my world in that moment, and
You were the Isabella of VidCon.
I love that.
Wait, what's your embarrassing story, Zach?
I don't fully remember the details, but I remember that I asked Laura DIY, our former guest, to introduce me to Elle.
And my
then
best
she
friend.
didn't really buddy me up. She like didn't, and I remember talking about chicken fingers and not being very charming.
Yes. No, you were. You killed it. I remember the chicken fingers. It was at
You
a party,
never
right?
forget.
Rick, you appreciate like well-told stories, and I feel like you would like Elle's content because she's not like what you think a regular. She's like the Steven Cantor of like YouTube. That's a way inside baseball reference for all you ex-BuzzFeed people.
But people know.
But when we worked together at BuzzFeed, Steven Cantor was the guy. Elle Mills is the guy.
If you're not familiar with Elle's channel, it's very, it feels like very John Hughes to me at times. Lots of cinematic references built into her channel. So I'm really excited to hear about the cinematic influence of all cinematic influences in your life. What is the movie you brought to us today?
The movie I've brought to you guys is the Lizzie McGuire movie. Now, hear me out. Listen, I know it's not perfect, but it is everything I love about film.
Wow.
Wait, this is not okay. Listen, I think I have good taste in film, but this, I mean, I actually like I had to rewatch it last night, and I was like, I know it off by heart. But I was like, I want a new perspective on it. So I took 2 edibles and I watched it. And honestly,
Hell yeah.
it made it so much better.
Of course.
I watched it with a friend and I was yelling at her. I'm like, this film is fucking amazing. And I stand by that.
my
And that's why I was like,
God.
I'm so ready to go Anyways, love this film.
Oh, fuck. We love that enthusiasm.
In case anyone has not had the pleasure of going to Rome with Lizzie, let me hit you with a quick synopsis. Following the hit TV show and her middle school graduation, Lizzie McGuire heads off to Rome on a school summer trip with her best platonic guy pal Gordo and mean future principal Miss Ungermeyer. There she meets the super hot Italian pop star Paolo Valeseri. And what's this? Lizzie looks exactly like his bandmate and ex-girlfriend, Isabella. Paolo convinces Lizzie to fill in for Isabella at a big concert, and they fall in love across Rome. But in a climax to remember, spoilers, it turns out that Paolo is trying to tank Isabella's career by revealing her to be a lip syncer when in fact it's Paolo who's the terrible singer. Isabella saves the day, Lizzie McGuire sings her heart out, and Gordo gets a little smoocheroo for being a homie. This is the Lizzie McGuire movie.
Wow.
I don't think Zach had enough hand motions in that. Very Italian. You gotta speak with your hands more. Isabella. Yes.
Honestly, that act 3 or the climactic plot twist had me just the way Crossroads did. Y'all remember that being the best plot twist of all time? This was up there. And I'd seen this before. I just forgot everything about it.
You forgot? How do you forget that? The third act is the whole movie. That's it.
Right.
I don't remember a single thing except for her on that Vespa in the trailer going like this.
Saying you forget the end of this movie is like saying you forgot that The Sixth Sense was about Bruce Willis.
Never saw it.
I'm afraid to spoil it, weirdly. I don't know why.
No. You had so long to watch it. He's dead. And he's seeing ghosts. Like, let's relax, guys.
It's like Luke is his father. He sees dead people. Fucking Paolo is sabotaging Isabella.
So, Elle, this show is going to be separated into our pleasures, the things that we loved, and the guilts, the things that maybe don't hold up as well, the things that make us go, huh? But you spoke a little bit about why you love this movie. Before we jump into some of the pleasures, like, what is your connection to it? I know you've seen this more times than I can count.
Yeah. I mean, because this movie came out when I was 5. So I literally have, like, no memories from before this film.
I think dust just came out of my mouth.
Get that honey break.
Where's my honey? We need a honey break. I got these lollipops now. They're like cold
My
lollipops.
God.
Wait, may I ask, how old are you guys? 2003?
How dare you? How dare you?
I am the first 1990, so I still feel like I can say I'm a 90s baby because I.
Are we all 1990?
Yeah.
91, but sure.
Oh no!
Baby Garrick, little baby. So wow, you've literally only lived in a Lizzie McGuire experience. Did you watch the show, or you just like only knew?
No, I definitely watched the show, but I feel like it must have been like reruns by the time I was like, So no, but I definitely watched the show. But I will say I was more of a fan of the movie than the show.
Ooh, hot take.
Yeah, I would agree there because.
How the fuck would you agree there, Garrick?
I would agree there. I mean, because I've only seen one, and I've seen like little snippets of the Lizzie McGuire show, and I'm just like, all right, cool. This is not for me.
Yeah,
love that. So I'll go on and move on with my life. And then I've seen the movie. This is my second time seeing it, so I saw the movie.
That's surprising.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's almost like, oh my God, Garrick, you had a girlfriend at some point? Ouch.
That's what's surprising is I don't believe that could have happened to you.
But yeah. So this is my second time watching it, and it brings in all of like the cohesiveness of the show in just like an hour and a half watch, and I'd rather that over anything.
No, I agree.
Honestly,
for sure.
It is, and like the show is kind of like Ally McBeal for kids, and this it takes it on more of an adventure. Why don't we dive into some pleasures?
The whole movie, the entire movie, everything about the movie.
Wow, you love it,
dude. Literally, the score. I remember watching it last night. I was just like, this score and the soundtrack makes the film. The film is so good because of it. It's like an easy watch because of the score. I'm so passionate about this. I literally have the soundtrack on vinyl. Like,
Oh my god.
no,
that's good. That's good ass like study music or like just I need to concentrate music.
Lizzie McGuire soundtrack on vinyl.
Yeah,
That's like,
What year is it?
how many of those could even be in existence?
Yeah.
literally, they let Urban Outfitters like did like a resell of
course.
it. So
This is some shit Urban Outfitters would have taken like popularity and recycled it, because one of my pleasures was definitely the soundtrack, but also the fucking fashion. Like I am someone who loved the show. I'd come home every day after school and Lizzie McGuire was on, and like her platform sandals. Do you know how ahead of its time she was? Like the chokers, the hair clips, the rubber bands, like that whole show in general. But I feel like they took it up a notch because she was going to Rome. She was going to Europa. Yeah, but for the story, she was like growing as a woman. And so was her fashion, I'd have to say, especially with any kind of like fedora bucket hat. I think if you played this today, Gen Zers would think it was happening today just based on the fashion alone.
Fair.
I tried to clock a couple of her outfits. I know she had a ruffled striped button down with wearing a butterfly clip in her hair. I was also, this is one thing that weirded me out. So the opening scene is like her changing, and you get like that classic, again, this is so 90s movie, even though this was in the 2000s, of just her, we introduce a character by her singing in the mirror. It's like, it's so, but then it's like, we're watching her brother spy on her. And I'm like, is her brother spying on her changing?
Yeah, that was a big deal.
It's like, God, I hope not.
yeah.
Little perv. We
Sorry to bring
that.
it there. That's just, it weirded me out.
I know, you had to hit us with a gill right off the top.
Yeah.
Well, this movie is like my favorite subgenre of movies from my childhood. I am such a sucker for white children exploring Europe. It's like this.
Okay.
Mary-Kate and Ashley.
The president's daughter. This one.
Passport to Paris. London Calling. Like, it's just, there's something so innocent.
Rick is pissed, I can tell.
No. I'm not pissed. I'm just like, yo, that's bad parenting every time, because she graduated middle school and her parents, I couldn't sleep over a kid's house until like,
Wait, this was middle school graduation?
This was her middle school graduation. And she was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go. So, okay. So like, let's just take it apart.
How old do you think she was when they were filming this movie, Kelsey?
I don't fucking know. I thought she was in high school. I thought this was a high school graduation trip, not a
Elle,
middle
do you want to hit us?
school.
Do you know how old she
Yes,
is?
she was 16.
Wow.
But she literally looks like she's in her 20s. It's insane.
Yeah.
I actually
It's
don't
wild.
understand.
It's insane.
Guys, in middle school trips, we were taking so much ecstasy that we were throwing up blue Gatorade at Disney World. We would have never survived 2 weeks in Europe. Are they out of their mind? Those children are way too young. No wonder she ended up on a fucking stage in the middle of the Coliseum.
I need to remind our audience as well as you that you grew up in Florida, which is a different world. That is not what middle schoolers do anywhere
You guys
else.
weren't snorting Roxy's off the back of a toilet in chemistry class? Okay.
How are you alive?
I don't know.
Right.
9 lives. I'm like a cat.
No, but like, I think that somebody watched this movie and they're like, man, what if this trip went horribly, horribly wrong, and then her dad had a particular set of skills that he had to go out and find his daughter and like, beat the shit out of a small village of people. It is the prequel to Taken, where she just goes back and she's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go out and follow this band, but this time I'm gonna do it in Paris. And then she was like, oh, I remember Apollo. I can trust everybody in this city. And then she gets sold into slavery. Like, and that's...
Speaking of another pleasure is the hybrid of animation versus live action is done so well, where like... I feel like that's what they're trying to accomplish now in TV and aren't able to get it. Like this to me felt like the original Fleabag, where it's like straight to fucking camera, inner monologue moments. I wish there was more of that in this.
I want you to imagine jumping into the shower and not turning on the water, okay? You're just wiping your body down with a dry paper. People would call you stupid. So why wipe with dry toilet paper instead of washing with water? Yeah, we're talking about Tushy. The future of toileting has arrived. The brand new Hello Tushy 3.0 modern bidet attachment is here to level the playing field. It's stylish, it's eco-friendly. Hello Tushy 3.0 doesn't just cleanse your butt with a precise stream of fresh water, which it does. It cleans itself before and after it's used with the Smart Spray automatic self-cleaning nozzle. Every Hello Tushy bidet attachment comes with a 60-day risk-free guarantee and a 12-month warranty. If you're new to the revolution, join millions of happy Hello Tushy customers right now and have a clean butt with every flush. Our listeners can go to hellotushy.com/guilty for 10% off plus free shipping. Get 10% off plus free shipping and get your butt clean at hellotushy.com/guilty. hellotushy.com/guilty.
But if you do like animation stuff now, it only works with a middle schooler. If you did it with like an adult person, you would be like, all right, why is this animated like there was this show Imaginary Mary where she had like an imaginary friend and she was an adult and she kept on like referring to it as if it was her conscience, and it just didn't work because it's just like, why is this grown ass adult talking to this stuffed animal?
Man, nobody had to take Wellbutrin or fucking Lamictal. Psh, okay, get off your fucking high horse, all right?
Yeah.
Sometimes adults have imaginary friends.
Yeah.
The trope works when she's in middle school. If Lizzie McGuire is still doing this after college, you're like, oh, she is having a psychotic
she has
episode.
a problem. She's having a
We need to get Lizzie some help.
But weren't they supposed to do the grown version of this, and then they canceled it because Lizzie was like, if she's not doing grown girl shit, I don't want to do it?
Yeah.
I feel like, Elle, you probably have the tea on that.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Hilary Duff was like, I guess like there were just like creative differences, and I feel like the original creator left, and then
that was it.
Yeah.
Were you devastated, or were you like, don't bring back? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was so excited. I don't know. I just love reboots, especially ones that I'm like Lizzie McGuire. Absolutely.
Oh my God.
But I mean, I respect it.
Yeah. If it wasn't going to be the best it could be, like, I mean, they would have had to top the movie, right? Like, we would have had to start with what happened after she became an international success, question mark? Did she? There was no, like, post-credit sequence. I don't know what happened to her.
I, 2 Halloweens ago, went to a TikTok Halloween party. I felt very out of place. And in the shuttle driving back, I was in the van with none other than Lizzie's younger brother himself, Jake Thomas.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Hell is so good. And he was dressed up like Ace Ventura, which when I watched this movie, I'm like, oh, you just want to be Jim Carrey more than anything on the planet.
Yeah.
But he was talking exclusively about this show and how excited they were. And had no idea who I was and did not care to ask.
Damn. Well, you would think he's our age, right? Or at least Elle's age. You would think like...
One pleasure that we were texting about before.
Oh, yes. My favorite.
Miss Ungermeyer.
Oh,
what
yes.
a performance.
My God.
Her and that front desk guy exudes similar energy. And I texted Zach and I was like, where do I know her from? She's genius. And Zach was like,
everywhere.
Miss motherfucking Maisel. And I was like, she stays good. She's been good. We just discovered her. That character she played, this was one side character that, you know, you could technically say without her, the plot would have moved forward. It could have been still a great movie. But I strongly feel like if that character was not there, this would not have been as good of a movie. She had the best one-liners. She was such like a strong female leader. And she was you fucking knew that lady. You fucking knew that lady, whether she was your guidance counselor or your motherfucking camp counselor or the fucking bitch who took you on your 8th grade trip to Washington, D.C. that you didn't get to go to because you had mono. Whoa. It's fine.
That's personal.
You know her.
We struck a chord.
No, it's fine. It's like I got mono once and then I had fucking strep throat twice a year, every year until I finally got my tonsils out when I was 17. But that's not why we're here.
Elle, I'm curious. You know, you talk about like loving this movie. Are there any scenes that you take inspiration from? Like, is there any that you have tried to emulate?
Honestly, yeah. No,
what?
I've used a couple of things. So I've I really like the intro. Like we've talked about this, like that was from the perspective of the toy car. So I've used that like as like going through like as an intro of one of my videos. I loved the music, the score. I've literally used the score in a lot of videos.
You a music hoe.
Yeah. And also because I did a video where I tried to watch the Lizzie McGuire movie as many times as I could, straight back to back.
No, what?
Yeah, and so I made it like Lizzie McGuire themed, and so I got an animator to make like a Lizzie McGuire version of me and like cut to it.
That's really cool.
Yeah, no, and so like I've definitely pulled inspiration from it for sure. I love this film, so like I think everything, like there's so many, I don't know, great little things I've used, like not just for the Lizzie McGuire movie, but like for other videos as well.
This was a recent vid, no?
Yeah, I feel like last year.
Yeah, right before pandemic.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we forgot what joy was. Yeah. Pre-pandemic was like a different time, like a different centurion or whatever the fuck. Can I say though that like the writing was probably my favorite pleasure because as cheesy as it was, I do think this writing works for everybody. Like if you're a parent that had to take your kid to see this, or if you're like an older sister or brother who's like too cool, you still had fun. Like, yes, there were some cheesy, like kind of cringeworthy moments, but it was just such a pleasure. My favorite line, my favorite joke of the whole movie was when Miss Maisel is handing out rooms and she's like, Ethan, you're 103 with Gordon. And he goes, are those French numbers or American numbers? Room 103.
I just couldn't believe, like, I mean, it was clocking it like the first half, like I was laughing out loud and I couldn't believe how many zingers they got me with. Another, what the guy that you're referencing, I forget his name, the like the hot guy.
Ethan Kraft.
Ethan Kraft. One of his quotes was he looks at a statue and he goes, whoa, this dude spent way too much time on his biceps and not on his abs. Old school. And it's like, it's so funny.
It really is. It's underrated for comedy. It's jokey. It's supposed to be like coming of age, like White Girl in Europe, but like I think it's just a straight up comedy.
Yeah, I love that. Everybody was just so, all of the middle schoolers were just so like awkward and like weird in a way where it was just kind of
real,
heartwarming and not real, but you know, like they weren't like playing up the fact that they were middle schoolers, like and going through that awkward phase, but they were just playing up the audience that they were aiming for, and those two like kind of blended in a really nice way where everybody's kind of over the top. Even the adult characters, my guy with the wrestling with the umbrella behind the
physical comedy
behind the desk. Physical comedy. I miss physical comedy. I miss big facial expressions. Like, oh my god, do it.
Yeah, but
you know.
But Rick, if this came out now, people would rip it the fuck apart because there just isn't like feel good for feel good sake movies anymore.
I don't know. I feel like the wave that like Ted Lasso could like bring, where it's just like
good reference,
pure pleasantry, and Paddington and all of it. Yeah, it's just joy. It's just a joy to watch. So maybe it could have done fine, especially now during the pandemic where everybody's just wildly depressed. So yeah, I kind of needed this. I needed to watch this movie.
Okay, wait. I have a burning question that I just remembered.
Yeah.
Where's Miranda in this one? I know they said she was in Mexico City, but why?
Let's get into it. It's a real shame to me.
The movie.
I don't know why.
Do you know, Elle?
I mean, like, I didn't really understand why. Like, I didn't get. I looked it up last night because we were like, I was talking to my friend and she's like, why is Miranda not in this? I'm like, I feel like something happened like with the actress, but like to be honest, this is just a side note. I think it's better without her.
Whoa!
I don't even know who Miranda is.
I really do. I stand by that because I think the enemies to friends plotline spiced it up. You know?
Worked. It would have been boring with her.
Exactly.
Oh shit! And you know what? I didn't miss her because the fact that I just now remembered she wasn't in this just goes to show.
I'm so sorry. Who is Miranda? I would love to know.
It's like the third character. You know how in like Sex and the City, it's like the 4 girls? It would be like if one of them just didn't go in the movie. And you'd
Which
be like,
in the Sex and the City reboot
Okay.
is what is happening, hilariously.
Yeah, because
One of them
control.
is
But wait, Zach, do you know why?
Yeah, so Garrick, in the original show, there's Lizzie, her best friend Gordo, and her best friend Miranda. And Miranda's like the courageous one. She kind of sticks up. She's a little offbeat and quirky. Yes, I watched the pilot immediately after watching this movie. And she was played by an actress named Lelaine. And Lelaine wanted to pursue a music career.
So?
Did she leave the... Okay, so is this after the show? The show is done filming after this?
No, I think she wasn't into like the last 6 episodes from what I read.
Oh shit, that's deeper than we... That's deeper than their PR is
Okay,
like
I got more. I got more, and it's we're gonna crawl back out of this because it gets a little real for a second. But the movie's middle school graduation, and then there are some episodes that take place that were released after, even though they take place before, right? Okay, so that's why like Lelaine kind of disappears. But the actress had a post about 2 years ago where she kind of bemoaned looking back at her childhood and feeling like she had, I think she's a half Filipino actress, and she felt this pressure to appear white. And like Disney Caucasified her, and it was a real point of pain for her. So I have a feeling that there's some of that involved. I cannot speak for her. I am going off of one Daily Mail article that I read based on an Instagram post.
Oh, well, then you know it's the truth.
The Instagram post has since been deleted. But yeah, I did miss her in this movie. I think that she's a fun character. I have no idea where she would have gone.
Yeah.
Me neither. She would have ruined everything. She would have been like tagging along. She would have been like talking. She would have seen Paolo's true intentions too early on. And like they would have lost the Isabella character, which like this, it kind of goes back to pleasures. Like my favorite part of this whole movie was that as soon as Lizzie sees Isabella for the first time on the billboard that she like looks identical to an Italian superstar, her first thought isn't like, oh my God, maybe my long lost twin, or like is something more like sinister going on with my family? Instead, she's like, how can I help this boy? Like she's so innocent that thought that maybe like her mother fucked an Italian man and like fathered twins, like Parent Trap side, like it never even crossed her mind. That movie I would also watch though, like her trying to track down her bastard sister.
It turns out her mom got knocked up by a Italian lover on a vacation, like during their honeymoon.
Exactly.
This is like a weird occurrence that always happens for anybody when you're watching an older movie, is that you find so many similarities with a movie that you love. And I realize this is fucking Spider-Man Far From Home. It's the same plot line, just with Spider-Man instead of a little cartoon person or somebody else that looks just like him. Where he has to go off and like sneak away to do Spider-Man stuff and then come back.
I thought it was Hannah Montana. I thought that was the comparison. Everyone says it's like Hannah Montana. I also never watched Hannah Montana. Not a single episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, but Garrick, you're so right, because like Jake Gyllenhaal is like the nice, charming guy who he falls in love with, quote unquote, but then turns out to
then it's just not the right person.
That's Paolo. Wow.
Yeah.
Wait,
it's the same movie.
Which Spider-Man was that?
The latest one that came out, Far From Home.
Gordo is Zendaya.
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about Gordo for a second. Can that be a pleasure?
Oh, I love a short king named Gordo. My God.
Short king!
Love him. Love him to death. That is my fucking guy. If anybody even like touches Gordo, the first time he came on screen, I was like, if they don't end up together, I was gonna fight. But then like, and then I was like, let me check myself, because maybe he's doing like I'm a nice guy. I'm just hanging around, blah blah blah. But then he just kept being a cool person the entire thing, not expecting anything. He was just like, I'm just gonna look out for my friend. Let me just block the camera real quick with my poofy hair. And then at the end he gets a little smooch, and I'm like, there you go, bro. He's like, oh, thanks. Cool. I'm gonna go back to the party though, but I appreciate it. Thank you
he
very
almost
much.
was like, I didn't want that. No, that. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I guess. Like,
Yeah.
way to make it fucking awkward, Lizzie. But I have to know, Elle, are you Team Gordo or Team Ethan?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I'm Team Gordo, but I will say, like, when I was a kid, like, I never like had like I'm like, oh, I want them together. It was never like that for me, for anyone,
Right?
either of them. But honestly, like last night, I was watching it with my friend, and I keep saying that, but she said, like, oh, imagine being hopelessly in love with your best friend. I was like, oh, and I was high, so like very aware of how my body was feeling, and all of a sudden I felt like a pang, and I was like, oh. I was like, what's that? I'm like, oh my God, I think I just got like a pang of empathy. Like that was really intense. I was like, oh, and then I feel like that's like last night was probably the first time I really felt for Gordo. Is basically it.
Yeah.
That was my entire high school career.
I know.
My God. It just hurts, dog. It hurts so.
Yeah,
okay, so
but Rick, you look at you now, you bitch. You are on a freeform show, and your girlfriend, she's hot as fuck.
I know. I'm very aware. But like this might be like a whole like thing, but I have this whole story about doing doing too many favors for people in high school or somebody I liked in high school.
All of us.
Yeah.
All of us. Wow. But like I was like doing favors. I was trying to be the nice person or whatever, and then it got rewarded. I finally got asked to go to homecoming. And I was like, oh, sick. I'm going to go to homecoming. And then she was like, no, we're not going to homecoming together. I'm going to go with this guy that I like. And I was like, oh, fuck. I'm not going to homecoming anymore. God damn it. But then the dude was like, oh, I'm actually going to go with somebody else to the girl that I like. So I was like a double backup.
And you accepted it with open arms.
Right. Accepted with open. Because, come on.
Dude, I was there with you. 100. Yeah. We're both Gordos here. From one Gordo to another. I get it.
We're both Gordos. We go to homecoming together, and I'm like super excited. We're taking pictures together. I'm like, yeah, this could be like the start of something new or whatever. I go get punched, come back. She's making out with the dude on the dance floor. And I'm like, fuck. Like, fuck. It was
Rick, I'm so sorry.
Like, dude, I watched my prom date make out with someone too.
Yeah, there it is.
We are the same fucking person.
Right. It's just our origin stories. That's why we get into entertainment. Because we're just like, all right, I'm going to show you. I'm going to fucking show you.
Oh my God. Okay, relax.
I'm funny, and I'm going to find someone who loves me because I'm funny.
Okay, both of you take a little breather, in and out, up and down. You're both very successful, very good looking, with very good looking partners. We support this now. But as former Gordos, which is hard to say, did that feel right? Did that kiss feel right to all of you? It didn't feel right.
It felt good to me. It felt like enough. It
felt good.
That's all I need. It didn't have to be like we're in love now thing. It just had to be like, yo, dog, I appreciate you. It was like it was like a dap up, but for the mouth, you know? like just
You don't dap up someone's mouth.
I unfortunately have to take the opposite. I always kind of found it a little weird, and I feel like it was this era of the friend zone, like in all media, and so the writers were like, well, we have to reward it, and I think that actually teaches a bad lesson. Like, they were homies.
I agree.
They're just friends, and we don't need them to always fall in love.
Yeah.
What I did wish would happen this time, and I don't mean to invalidate Garrick. I know, I mean, part of me was like, come on, Lizzie, get with Gordo.
No, please.
I wish that Gordo got with Isabella. I feel like that would have been.
Oh, that would have been cool. Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Like, they had a thing. Like,
Fair
she
enough.
respected him.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect, because he's like, you're clearly in love with Lizzie, but you don't know it yet, and now you get like your hot Italian girlfriend who like is intense but respects you. You get to be a superstar, Gordo.
Yeah, but you know why they couldn't do that?
Why?
Because she couldn't keep up that Italian accent for that long. So she was like, we need to do it. Can I just switch back to American?
We're not in the guilts yet. Let's keep living in Pleasureville. I like the pleasure.
I had to bring it up.
We can go back and forth. Let's introduce the first guilt. Hillary Duff's Italian accent is just wonderful.
It was switching from
just
Albanian
absolutely
to like Greek
Russian
to Russian. It was
where did that shit?
I mean, that's the only thing I have on the movie is that she was a young person trying to do an Italian accent. And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Go for it.
It's like you talk about budget. Did they not have a voice coach or an accent
I think
coach?
they probably did.
They did.
That makes
and
it worse.
They were probably not the best.
They paid someone $20,000 to fucking do that, and now that's on that lady's resume. Yes, I did the Lizzie McGuire Italian accent. She's blacklisted from Hollywood.
Everybody's Italian accent was pretty like spotty.
Yeah.
So whoever was doing dialect on that was
even Paolo. I don't know if he's actually Italian. I don't know if he's a real person.
That was pretty bad. I have to say though that the fact that Lizzie and Isabella are twins, but have such different singing voices really really kind of bumped me. Like accents, I can get it, they're growing up in different parts of the world, but singing voices, how'd that happen?
Well, why don't we talk about what really to me is the anchor of this entire movie, the climax. Elle, set the stage for me, okay?
So Gordo comes with Isabella and grabs Lizzie and is like, hey, he's setting you up. He wants to embarrass Isabella on stage and embarrass you. This is all set up. He's not really in love with you. Lizzie has to choose. She's like, is this Italian boy that I fell in love with in the right, or is it my best friend? She gets dragged into her dressing room and Isabella's like, don't worry, I have this covered. Just go on stage and do what you rehearse.
Very trusting.
So it's chaos. They go on stage. Paolo starts singing, and right before Lizzie starts singing, Isabella switches mics and she starts singing. And Paolo's like, whoa, wait, my plan's not going, my master evil plan has been foiled. And he's like, what's going on? And this is literally my favorite part of the movie. When Isabella walks on stage and Paolo sees her, he's like, oh no. And then the mic switch and Paolo's mic gets turned off and then you hear his terrible singing. I'm so bad at explaining things.
No, this is perfect.
The thing is, she then like kills him, knocks him out. This is like the knockout line, my favorite line in the whole film. And she says, sing to me, Paolo. And Paolo belts one last time. Terrible, awful, gets booed off stage, and then they do this grand performance together, Isabella and Lizzie, What Dreams Are Made Of. Probably the most iconic Disney song of all time. Yes.
Sing to me, Paolo. One of the iciest lines in any movie I've ever seen. The fucking venom dripping off her tongue.
That's what the power of when two women who have been scorned by the same man coming together can do. They got an entire stan audience to boo off the most famous male Italian singer off of his own stage. Like, that is the power of two Lizzie McGuires, honey. And I fucking fully believed it. When I truly say I didn't remember that plot twist, and then I didn't remember how they like solved it and outed it, I was sitting here like, and I was looking around and there was no one here except for my foster dog, and he's asleep and he can't talk, so it wasn't as joyful to retell it. But I think you did a wonderful job, Al. Was fantastic.
That final dance performance, it's a guilt, but to me it's an absolute pleasure. Has some of the most delightfully lazy choreography you will ever see. And it is just shoulder acting, especially the hey now moment. It's just shoulder in, that's it. Hillary Duff can't do anything more than that, and you know what? She doesn't have to.
She doesn't need to.
No, and honestly, what's better is like when you watch it. I've watched it a lot of times. You start to notice when the body doubles in, and the body doubles in a lot more than Hillary Duff is. Honestly,
oh my god. Wow. That's probably why Lizzie McGuire didn't take off. Like Hillary Duff herself didn't take off as a massive pop Disney success, because she's not the triple threat. She can't fucking dance. Not in those platform sandals. No.
Yeah.
Wow. And the fact that she also learned how to dance and the song within like 24 hours in the story, I thought was pretty unbelievable. It just goes to show the power of how talented Lizzie McGuire is, that she can then sing in front of a Coliseum versus 50,000 people. Which, can you put a performance on in the fucking Coliseum? Isn't that bitch ancient and old and like a relic and protected? I don't think you can just do that.
I don't think so either, but they did film Jumper inside of a Coliseum, so I'm sure.
But that was the real Coliseum.
Yeah.
I think they probably green screened it in. They probably were also like, what can we teach teenage children about Europe and Rome? Well, let's just put it in the Coliseum.
Put it in the
That's
Coliseum.
big point of interest for everybody.
Again, when you're a white child, Europe welcomes you with open arms.
The world is your fucking oyster. Jesus
That's what
Christ.
I've learned. It's so funny too. So like you talk about like the body double in a movie, a climax about lip syncing. She doesn't sing over half of that song. It is someone else singing as Hilary Duff, and it is so unbelievably apparent to me as an adult watching it back. My jaw was to the ground.
Well, I thought of it as like the Disney way of having two actors where one sings and then the other one acts. So like in cartoons, I mean, with like Mulan, like that was who?
No, but I don't mean Isabella's singing for her. I mean when Hilary Duff takes over.
No, I know what you mean. There are when they're casting like cartoons, they always have the singing actress and then the actor, the voice actor. So it just feels
Lion
like a
King.
very Disney thing to do. Lion King, Mulan.
I just looked at my guilt list to like find one so that while you guys were talking, I could come up with another one. I didn't have any more. That was it. It was Lizzie's accent. And that it was directed by a man, which like who fucking cares? I forgot that this was made in 99. But one of the things that I have highlighted and circled twice is a spaghetti sandwich, because Ethan Kraft is the only other person in the fucking world that I have heard talk about a spaghetti sandwich besides myself. And when I tried to tell my friends about it, they called me trailer trash, which is half true. I did grow up in Florida, but you guys have had spaghetti sandwiches, right? Like with leftover spaghetti?
No.
It sounds incredible.
You just eat the spaghetti.
What? You elitist motherfucker? What are you just having like fucking
like,
bolognese?
why do you have to put it? Why put it between bread? Just
imagine
eat
this.
it.
Olive Garden. What's your favorite part about Olive Garden?
The
Breadsticks. Jesus.
Or not going.
Yeah, I'm not going. I was gonna say the family, but I didn't want to be a fucking a corporate slave.
Shell.
Imagine like breadsticks with this. It's all in one bite. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna get off this point because clearly I'm talking to a bunch of fucking food snobs over here with no taste. But my second highlighted and circled moment is when after Hilary Duff as Lizzie McGuire as Isabella is getting trying on different outfits for the award show that she now has to take the place of Isabella in. The outfits are just, wow, incredible moment. But after she decides to tell the designer off that she's no longer going to wear her outfits, she comes out of the studio and does a cartwheel. More cartwheels. I have never seen that before. I have never seen someone be so excited that they do a cartwheel. I've seen people do a cartwheel because they're running down a hill. I've seen it in cheerleading movies. I have never. Whose idea was that? I'm excited we're going to do a cartwheel. That was
so glad you brought this up.
I think that must have been a Hilary Duff thing because I like watched her because she's really into gymnastics or like something like that.
That talent. So she threw that in, and you think the director was like,
definitely threw it in.
Yes, definitely keep that taken. She fucking that was her. Yeah. That was her shining through. I just think that we don't implement enough cartwheels into our. I'd like to bring back cartwheels.
That really like showed her age for sure. Hilary Duff, not
16.
But like where you're just like you're some casting director is asking her, well, Lizzie, Hilary, what can you do? It's just like, I don't know, I can sing. I could do a cartwheel, and then she just does it in she's
like, I can do a cartwheel. You want to watch?
And then he's like. It's like, okay. I guess we'll put that in the movie.
It was very cute. I enjoyed it.
It was adorable.
I really do think we need to do more of those.
Yeah, well, I'm down to start putting cartwheels in every video I do, just like in between scenes. I think that's a great transition. You mentioned the fashion scene, and I think everyone listening would boo us if we did not touch on it. It is like, I know it's such a tried and true trope, the fashion runway scene, but this one nails it. Like this movie, it just crushes the silly outfits. And like she wears this green Victorian dress, and my favorite is the inflatable snow globe look. Like I want to find that. I want to go as that for Halloween. If anyone out there listening can make that happen, we could all go as different.
Costume?
Yes!
Everybody
that would be brilliant.
All the outfits.
I called dibs on the Christmas lights one.
I'm in, for sure.
Okay, so we'll do a 4-person couples costume.
Oh my God. Just the most random, make sure people like, are you guys even friends? Not really.
What is that? Is that a we have couple, throuple, is this forple? I guess
we all fuck each other and half of us are gay.
And none of us enjoy it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Wow. But you're right. Like it's
cartwheel out the room.
So we're just doing cartwheels in our fucking Lizzie McGuire outfits.
Yeah.
It's so true though that like it was really making fun of like haute couture fashion. Like they had styrofoams dripping off of a newspaper. They had literal like Christmas lights in a roll. Like, you know, some fucking crafty guy was just like, I don't know, here's some fucking lights. Do you want to try this on her? Like, it was so goofy, so wish fulfillment-y. Oh, Rick, you're rubbing your hands. That always makes me nervous.
No. I just realized what this would be if she was an adult. And it's Emily in Paris. And that's why it wouldn't work if it was like an older person. Because it's just like, why are you, like, you're fucking 30. Go get a life. What are you doing? You're weird. You know?
Did you watch Emily in Paris, Rick?
I watched the whole thing because we were supposed to do it for an episode. We were supposed to do it for an episode and we never did, but I watched the whole thing and I was just like screaming at it the entire time.
There have been more plot twists in this episode with Garrick's opinions.
Because there are no guilts in this movie, I will go to the guilt of something else, which is Emily in Paris. It's fucking terrible. Anyway.
Have you guys ever played sick and snuck out in your life?
Pulled a Ferris Bueller. Oh, you love Ferris Bueller too, Al. So this really just takes like all of your favorite things just right in.
John Hughes, man.
Because I feel like that plot line where she played sick in Paris for like Rome. I keep calling this French. We're definitely in Italy. They're the same place to me in my head. Pasta, champagne, hills. The fact that she was just sick every day for a 2-week vacation in Rome in your middle school. I didn't even realize that it was middle school. But don't you think this trip was like $2,000 for a middle class family, and that like lady was just gonna let her lie up in bed for 2 weeks?
Yeah, there's a lot of like plot holes like that though. Like my thing is like, why did her family fly all the way to Italy?
Thank you.
You're right.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do that.
I know they had a 2-story house, but damn.
They didn't even call. They did not even call to check on her.
They didn't have cell phones back in 2000.
Apparently not. They're going to fucking spend $3,000 on everybody's flight.
And the chaperone says that she tried calling them. She's like, I left you 4 messages. Why weren't you checking your fucking answering machine? Your daughter has a fever in Rome. Don't you want to know? This whole thing was just a little messy.
You are right. They didn't even let the parents know that their daughter is horribly bedridden.
No, Miss Maisel says when she's walking the family in, I don't know her fucking name, I can't remember. When she's walking the mom and dad and son into Lizzie's room where it's the pillow underneath. As she's walking in, she goes, I left you 4 voicemails and she's been under my watch the entire time. And then
you're telling me Miss Ungermeyer called the parents, but the parents didn't think to call
4 times.
What? Wow.
Yeah. And apparently didn't hear any of the voicemails that she was sick, because they could have very easily used that as a plot point to get over to Europe, that they believed she was actually sick, rather than the little brother missing his sister, which was also a weird kind of throwaway moment.
There's also a weird one where Gordo takes the fall for Lizzie. What a homie, the main bro. But he's like, I'm the one who's been sneaking out. And it's like, what are you talking about? You've been in every scene with her. You have been like in her face in every scene of this movie. But hey, I bought it.
So
Gordo's
funny.
the homie.
And it's like also like she was supposed to be Miss Ungermeyer was supposed to be going upstairs to check on Lizzie, and then him saying that she's like, okay, I'm not going to check on Lizzie anymore. Like it was just like, okay, wait, I don't understand how that worked, but
she seems to be a shitty chaperone, but boy was she fun, so we forgave her.
I'm looking back through my notes, and Miss Ungermeyer's first line of the movie, which is absolutely perfect, is "Attention, parents, shut your pie holes."
Yes,
she's so good.
They had some good jokes there. They had like the parents being like, "Can you make sure my kid doesn't eat soy?" And I was like, "What year was this that they had this comedy?" Oh my god! Speaking of being ahead of their time, I wrote this down. It's the moment after she cartwheels, of course, because we're like riding on a high and the music starts to play. And there's a song in the background which lyric says, "Slay, baby, slay." This was 2000 where we were using slay?
I don't think Slay. I think Slay has gone in and out of the zeitgeist. I don't think
it's just white people keep stealing it and bringing it. Oh, fuck. Okay.
No, you know why, Kelsey? Because the makeover scene had a cover of RuPaul's Supermodel, "You Better Work."
Oh.
So
Right.
it was but it wasn't RuPaul singing. They got like some white girl
So
to
it's
sing the
drag.
cover of it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Comes
They,
from
like,
drag culture anyway.
Disney was like,
yeah.
we're not putting a drag song in this movie, but we can have someone else sing it, and then we'll put it in the
RuPaul
movie.
too queer, but the one weird like art teacher that makes Lizzie give the valedictorian speech who's definitely gay will allow it.
What I mean, it seems like we're all in unison on board. I really expected to kind of rag on it a little more, but it's hard. You can't.
It's hard to. It does feel like stealing candy from a baby. Not it being easy, but like just how rude it would be to take candy from a child. Like nobody ever thought about that when writing the idiom. It was just like, oh, it's so easy. I can take candy from a baby. Why are you doing that? You're a fucking psychopath. You know, don't shit on the Lizzie McGuire movie because it was just trying to be nice. You know, it was just trying to be just living its life. It's just trying to be good.
I truly want every filmmaker and future filmmaker out there to listen and learn from this movie, because I think if nothing else, it shows the power of nailing your climax. Like this movie, like many of the scenes you could kind of take or leave, and they're all delightful, but like she's just riding on a Vespa for 45 minutes. But if you nail that hey now scene, we are going to be raving about it for decades to come.
Yep.
This is what I don't even remember I didn't even remember that this is what that was from. That's how iconic it is. It doesn't need like a time and place. It's just that good of a song.
By the way, my number one biggest guilt, and this is just not a guilt with the movie, this is with Society. That song's not on Spotify. The only version of that song is Trisha Paytas's cover of it.
Yup.
Wait, Trisha Paytas did a cover?
She did a whole recreation of the like shot by shot. Like,
is it good?
What do you think? What do you think?
I've got stuff to do today. Oh my God. There's a video with 13,000 views. That's her video next to the Lizzie McGuire movie, frame by frame.
So this is the part of the show where normally I will jump into a bunch of fun facts about the movie. There really aren't any. I've got one, and I'm kind of wondering and hoping out, like, maybe you know something, maybe you can save me. But this is a little fun. Isabella, her singing was sung by Hillary's older sister,
Haley Duff.
Wow.
What?
Iconic.
That's adorable.
What is Haley up to? Anyone follow her on Instagram or anything? What's she doing, girl?
Does Haley have hits?
She did with Hillary. They had a couple songs together that actually like were pretty good, and they like played in like the Cinderella story movie she's in.
Oh, you mean one of my favorite movies of all time?
Love. So good.
That was one that I probably watched as many times as you've watched Lizzie McGuire, because that was me in high school. I mean, like literally nothing about me was like her in the movie. I just felt like I should be like that, and that I was trying to get the like prom dress with Converse. Okay, this is not that movie, but you'll have to come back to do that one. What is Haley Duff up to?
There's like a bunch of famous Disney siblings who also like there's so you have Haley Duff, and then you have Ashley Simpson, sister of Jessica Simpson. I know she wasn't really Disney, but I want to have them. I want to do like a bracket where we put all of their songs go against each other.
Ooh, yes.
Every episode, we like to tell people, is this movie a pleasure, a guilty pleasure, or just a guilt? This is kind of your time, your final word. Why is this movie great or not? Should people watch it? Elle, would you like to do the honors?
Okay. Well, I was gonna say guilty pleasure, but honestly, I was thinking Garrick was not gonna like this film. But the fact that Garrick likes this film, that means it is a pleasure. I think it is a great film. I think it's a easy watch. It'll make you feel good, and it's just like a feel good movie. Like if you wanna end your night, have good dreams, and on a positive note, yeah, exactly.
Relax with your friend.
Yeah.
Relax with a friend. Throw on the McGuire
This
movie.
is the film.
If you want Elle's YouTube channel, just take pure inspiration from this movie, apparently. That's the secret to her success.
Yeah, that's all. No, as I said in the beginning of this episode, I'm going to agree with everything the genius Artur Elle Mills filmmaker says. And I have to agree, this is an absolute fucking pleasure. Dare I say, maybe the first time we all agree? I don't know. Who's going next?
Fast and Furious.
I mean, look, like technically speaking, yes, it's obviously a guilty pleasure. There's some, we didn't talk about, like, Paolo's, like, choppy slow-mo when he's revealed. I also still don't know to this day if he's hot or not, whatever.
He's not.
Whatever. Like, but just by the definition of the word pleasure, yeah, this movie's pure joy. And it is always there to make you smile. It is not trying to hurt you. So I have to bow my head down and agree with the group here.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
No, for sure. Just straight up pleasure, because you watch it and you just feel good. Like Elle was saying, it doesn't ask anything of you. I don't mean that in a condescending way.
No,
at all.
I totally get it. Yes.
Yo, just watch it. Just shut the fuck up. Watch the movie. What are you doing? It's a sitcom. Watch it. Shut up. Stop trying to be. It's again. It's the burger of movies where it's just like it doesn't have to be so crazy.
It's always good.
You don't have to be like, oh, look at this shot. Look at how subtle these characters are. Oh my God. No, it doesn't have, it's the other end of the spectrum of Oscar winning films where it's just like, no, this doesn't have to be crazy.
Give the candy back to the baby.
Give the candy back to the baby. We are baby. We want candy.
Give me candy.
Give me
Elle, it was such a pleasure to have you. Please tell us about your show.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me. I'm launching a podcast called Crazy Stupid Fangirls. So I'll be talking just as passionately about other things like the Lizzie McGuire movie, having some fun guests on, and we're just like fangirling out every week. So it should be a fun time.
All of us? We're coming.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
yes.
We gotta pick something real guilty. Oh yeah. Okay. I got the director's cut on DVD. We need to bust that out. I'll buy a DVD player so I can watch the director's cut on DVD.
So be sure to check that out everywhere podcasts are available. Where else can people find you?
You can find me on youtube.com/ELLE'S. On Twitter, I'm at MillsL, and on Instagram, I'm L.Mills.
And then which of the three of us is your favorite best friend?
I think Kelsey might take the cake.
I'm getting out of here.
Oh God, I gotta go.
It's that same Cinderella story. Like we just get each other. If you're a Hillary,
you could have said Garrick. He was right there. Garrick was right there.
Garrick's 50 That's the perfect way to end on Garrick's.
Good.
Oh, we knew it
Okay,
was
Kelsey,
coming.
where can people find you if they want to also be your best friend?
You know that you can follow me at Kelsey Darragh on all the things. Go to justicefirstraya.com. And then I have a new plug. This is our foster dog, Pogo, and he's available for adoption. Pogo, come here. Go say hi.
Pogo's terrible at podcasts. He just never speaks.
And he's available for adoption at Wags and Walks. So follow them on Instagram because they're good and you can get a dog.
Awesome. Garrick?
Oh, just at Garrick Bernard on Instagram. Don't follow my Twitter. It's not good. I don't tweet.
He used to be good. He used to be good at Twitter, but shit.
Oh yeah, watch Solar Opposites on Hulu.
Garrick wrote for it. I'm at Corn on all platforms. Please rate the show. Tell your friends about it. Helps people find it. Until next time, Elle, thank you so much for joining.
Bye,
And
Elle.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Elle.
until next time, this is what dreams are made of. Join us next week for a very special episode. Guys, there's a chance that our favorite person in the universe is going to be on this show. I don't want to jinx it. It's going to be a good one.